Question coming in from Joel. He says, Iran's crown prince is returning to Iran soon. Is that going to be happening? The Shah's family, will they be returning soon? It is the hope and the prayer of many that not that he be part of a monarchy, but that he be a symbol of, that he hold the spiritual space for the soul of the Iranian people, just like Queen Elizabeth, right? So it doesn't mean that they want a monarchy where the monarch is going to control them. They want a democracy, but they want it to be guided by the principles, the Western principles that the Shah supported, and cooperation with neighboring countries. He really tried to get along with people. He didn't want to fight with Israel or the United States. So we're looking at the Crown Prince of Iran first. War is right over Iran. You can see the Knight of Swords in the first, or the seventh house, excuse me, this is a blitz. Seventh house is the immediate environment in a Celtic cross. A blitz is the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th cards of a Celtic. All right, so we have the seventh house. The immediate situation right now for Iran is war. Knight of Swords, as we said, is angry wind energy. We think about metal, wind, and ether as the elements over wind. And we have this violent, angry chaos. It can be storms, hurricanes, war, violence. It's called the bull in the china shop. That is how we look at the Knight of Swords. Excuse me, did I say King of Swords? Excuse me, the Knight of Swords. And then its opposition is the 8th house. So the person that you're having issue with. You know, sometimes people will want to know, how's my love life? And the lover's in the 8th house, because it's the person, even if you love them, you can sometimes have issues with that person, right? So a lot of the time, it's often the, let me just check this. This presentation, I'm noticing my settings are a little off. Hold on. The camera is, got to get rid of the mirror there so you guys can see this. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. All right, so we have war, and the opposition has an Ace of Swords. What do you think that means? What do you think it means that the opposition to Iran is the Ace of Swords? Those of you who are interested in tarot, think about that. Now, the Ace of Swords is victory after tears, right? It is the survivor's card, right? So the survivor has the laurel wreath. I cried. You know what I always think? I always think of that song. Was it Billie Holiday? God bless the child who's got his own, who's got his own. Your mama may have, papa may have, right? But God bless the child. That person who survives and thrives despite nobody helped them. They are strong. I am invincible. That's the Ace of Swords. I am strong. Strong, I am invincible, invincible, I am woman, right? Those are the things we think about with the Ace of Swords. So it's interesting. You see the tears dropping, the crying that has happened. And those tears are shaped like the Hebrew word, the Hebrew letter Yud, which is the 10th letter, I believe. But you can see the laurel wreath. So what they're saying is that the opposition is going to win this war. What is the time period of a sword traditionally? There's a test question for you all when we start our tarot card class up again. What is the time period for a sword? 1 year, right? So it's a 1 year period. This is an ice sculpture, and it's got that beautiful ice energy. It's the time of January, the Ace of Swords, right? You can see the ice on the mountains. And that is a chiseled ice sword. So it's often associated with winter time and the time of January, the first of the year, when we make, I read one interpretation that it was about that they saw the Ace of Swords as your New Year's goals, like what I'm going to do this year. Ace of Swords would be auspicious, like I'm going to build them out. I'm going to fulfill all of my New Year's resolutions, right? So it can be that a victory for the opponent of Iran within 1 year. So very good, Susie. Susie's got some good answer there. So it's women's revenge, the Ace of Swords, right? I am woman, right? You can bend but never break me, more determined to make. How's that go? As I spread my loving arms across the land, right? Yeah. All right, so war happening and the opposition is winning. The hope and the fear of Iran is justice and truth, the Queen of Swords. It's also, she comes bringing the sword of truth. What's interesting is that all the cards so far are air. Yeah, Enforcer is actually a lot more neutral. I was a little like taken aback because they sometimes make jokes when people are getting blown up, and I just don't think that that's so. It's like a little, but they are pretty good, the Enforcer, about giving you up to date news, and they will go back and correct themselves. So, it's a little bit too macho man. Like, yeah, the army is taking them. But yeah, sometimes they can be entertaining. Yeah, I watch the Enforcer and I watch Agenda Free TV. Enforcer is more entertaining. So we have this truth, the energy of the swords coming in, and the final outcome for Iran at this time is another Archangel Michael comes with the sword of truth. Every single card is an air sign. What do y'all think about that? Is that unusual? What do we think about when we think about the air signs? Ether, air, and metal. What do we think about in Chinese medicine, right? Because Chinese medicine, the cards, you have to realize that these cards, the tarot, Torah, right? Now there's books coming out about the relationship between Torah and tarot. Most women, most female doctors, or what were known as the barefoot doctors of the Silk Road, could not read or write, right? So they couldn't read the Torah. So instead they had symbols. This is this rabbi, this is, and they would use it to diagnose, treat, etc. And also the symbols of Chinese medicine made their way into the Silk Road. And so we have this beautiful overlap between Chinese medicine, and so many barefoot doctors would use the cards and their psychic abilities to find out which organs were affected. So what are the organs we think of in Chinese medicine? The lungs and the large intestine, right? The lungs and the large intestine are air, and Wei Qi is the wind energy hitting your back, which can cause irritation to your immune system. That the wind can come in when you go to the back and attack the immune system, right? So all of that is what you see in this card chart. So you see this kind of attacking, violent wind energy. You see that this calm opposition comes in and mops the floor with Ayatollah within 1 year. Or it could be by the end of January, we're seeing a new regime change. And you're seeing this strong female energy carrying the sword of truth and Archangel Michael. So it's looking pretty good for the opposition. What do you all think?